Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1319B, and today's date is June 29th, 2017, and the title of the episode is The Silence is Deafening. Indicators point to an event on the horizon. Let's get into the economic collapse, political, and geopolitical news. Now, since Trump became president, it looks like the corporate media, the deep state, they have a problem with immigration. Now, we need to understand there's two different things going on here. One, there is immigration, and then we have the term illegal immigrant, and it looks like they're trying to combine the two, and they're not the same at all. Yes, the United States accepts immigrants. They go through a process, they're vetted, they're allowed into the country. Illegal immigrants, well, they sneak over the border, they hide in the country, and they're here illegally. Obama, basically, he took those individuals who made it across the border, said, okay, they can stay in the country, set up sanctuary cities, and transported these individuals to different areas. Now, the illegal immigrants, they were being used for many different agendas. Trump became president, and he said, listen, we need to stop this. And this has to be stopped because, again, if we don't, what's the purpose of the borders? Well, let's just let everyone in. Criminals, drug dealers, it makes no difference. And if everyone feels this way, leave your door open and accept anyone into your house. Because think about this. You have a home and you have a border, which is your door. Someone knocks on your door. You either look through the peephole or you open it a crack and say, who are you? And if you trust them by vetting them, asking them questions, you allow them in. If not, you don't. Now, for all these individuals that want all the illegal immigrants coming in without any type of vetting or anything like that, leave your front door open, let everyone in. What's the problem? Actually, they can house with you. But again, once you take it that far, people say, whoa, just a minute here. Now, during a White House press briefing, Tom Homan, acting director of Immigration and Customs Enforcement, and U.S. Attorney John Huber were brought in to discuss two upcoming pieces of immigration legislation. And there were reporters that were out there, and one of the reporters were from CNN, which was Jim Acosta. Now, Director Homan made the point that out of the 66,000 illegal arrested since Trump's executive orders on immigration enforcement were signed, 73% of everyone we have arrested were criminals. Homan also noted that ICE's emphasis on breaking up gangs and transnational smuggling organizations was top priority. Now, Jim Acosta came out and he basically was accusing the director of making it sound as if undocumented immigrants commit more crimes than people who are just native-born Americans. And it looks like he got this question out of the research done by Cato Institute. And the director said, I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. Number one, people that enter this country illegally violate the laws of this country. You can't want to be part of this great nation and not respect its laws. Adding that once an illegal alien has been given due process, that final order from a federal judge needs to be something or this whole system has no integrity. And then he went on to say that, did I say aliens commit more crimes than U.S. citizens? I didn't say that. And he's right. He did not say that. Now, if you enter this country illegally, you should be concerned that someone is looking for you, he said. And Acosta then hit the director with a hypothetical tearjerker about separating an illegal immigrant mother from her dreamer children, calling the Trump administration adherence to the law cold and clinical. And the director responded to this. U.S. citizen families get separated every day when a parent gets arrested for a criminal charge. When someone chooses to enter this country illegally, and they're here illegally, and they choose to have a child that's a U.S. citizen, they put themselves in that position. If we don't have border security, if we don't enforce the laws that are written in the books, then you're never going to control the border. Why do you think we've got 11 to 12 million illegal people in this country now? I mean, he just shot him down incredibly because he just hit the points And he's just laying it out that, yes, this is why we are doing this. And actually shot down each one of his answers. And I say it again, if all these individuals would like to have these illegals coming to the country, they should raise their hands and let them live in their homes. Put them up, let them live there until they get on their feet. And I'm going to tell you right now, most of the people are going to say absolutely not. Because you know why? 1, they don't know who they are. 2, they know they're criminals. 3, they're not going to do it. And it's funny, once you put that to them, everyone basically just says, okay, I'm out. Now, Paris, they are going to be building their own wall, which is very interesting. But this wall is going to be around the Eiffel Tower. So, unlike the border wall that Trump wants to build, we see that the French, they're building this shield around the Eiffel Tower to protect it against terrorist attacks. And they approved a 20 million bulletproof glass wall just over 8 feet high that will surround the tower. I mean, they're really taking this too far, because we know that 99.999% of these events that occurred, they're completely false flags. So what they're really doing is they are setting up walls around the people, really not around the monuments. Because think about it. Once they do this, they'll do it to the Louvre, they'll do it to the next structure, and before you know it, when you start to look around in the open space, all you see is walls all around you. And this is exactly what they're doing. Now, out in the Philippines, we see Duerte. He is going after the Islamic State, and he's telling his troops that, listen, do whatever it takes. We're taking back the Philippines. And they're going full out in fighting them. And we can see right now, this is part of the CIA operation, the intelligence agencies using their paid mercenary forces to basically have regime change in the Philippines. This is what they're trying to do. They use these paid mercenaries all over the place to push terror in each one of these countries, to basically have the government fold and basically take over the country and have regime change. Now, we see, this is coming from the Iraq military, a brigadier general, saying that the Islamic State's self-proclaimed caliphate is no more. Their ISIS revenue is down 80%, and they're saying that the group's apparent collapse is backed up by a study released Thursday morning that found 3 years after the Islamic State declared its caliphate on parts of Iraq and Syria, well, it's lost almost all of its revenue. It's lost roughly 2/3 of its territory, and they are on the run. Now, Putin, he was giving a televised speech in Moscow on Wednesday, and without specifying which nation he was referring to, he's saying that there are operations to influence the domestic political and social process in our country. The Kremlin is convinced the United States is laying the groundwork for regime change in Russia. And he's saying that he's accusing foreign spy agencies of supporting terrorism to destabilize Russia, just like they've been doing in other countries. And he's absolutely right. This is exactly what they wanted to do all along. Their plan was to go into China, have regime change, to go into Russia, have regime change. Actually, the deep state was empire building across the world. This is what they wanted to do. But we can see that it's all falling apart right now, because we can see out in Iraq and on the border of Syria, well, the U.S. is giving up its position at the Syrian-Iraq border, the crossing near Al-Tanf. Now remember, their plan was to move from Al-Tanf north towards the Euphrates River, and they wanted to capture and control the whole southeast of Syria. But Syria, its allies, they made an unexpected move, and they completely prevented this plan. Now, the U.S. are cut off from the Euphrates by the Syrian west to east line that ends at the Iraqi border. The U.S., they are just sitting in the basically mid-piece of the desert around Al-Tanf, where their only position is to die of boredom or to move back to Jordan, where they came from. Now, the U.S. military, as we know, they moved in the HIMARS missile launcher, with 300 kilometers reach from nearby Jordan to Al-Tanf. Now, they thought by doing this, this was going to scare the Syrian army, scare the allies, scare these forces, but the stunt didn't work. It made no difference because it didn't matter if it was still in Jordan or if it was put up into this area. We can see that they didn't care. They didn't care that the weapon was there. And what's happening right now is they've lost their position at the border crossing. And their entire plan just completely fell apart. Now, U.S. Special Forces, they've been deployed into the Kurdish-held northern Syria area along the border between Syria and Turkey in recent days. The deployment, well, it wasn't announced by the Pentagon, but it was revealed by the Kurdish YPG. Now, the Pentagon still hasn't directly commented on the matter, and I'm still convinced that within the Pentagon, and of course within the main structure of the government, there are rogue elements that are doing things without the other parts of government or the Pentagon knowing what's happening here. And this is why we see all this happening, because both sides, the deep state side, the Trump administration side, where he has his individuals that are working against the deep state, they don't trust each other. And again, Trump, he doesn't know who to trust. He has certain individuals, and we also know that there's spying equipment within the White House, and we know that they will leak anything that is in there. And this is why a lot of it is basically kept very, very quiet, so no one really understands what's going on. And this is why I think that announcement about this Syrian chemical attack, well, this was a warning to Syria, Russia, Iran, letting them know that the deep state, the Islamic State, they were planning on something. Now, does this mean the plan is dead? No. And I think right now what is happening is they're getting prepared for some type of event. What kind of event? Will it happen in Syria? We don't know. Will it happen in Europe? Don't know. But we know something is about to happen because the silence is deafening. We do know that Trump and Putin will meet at the next G20 summit in Hamburg. And basically, Trump is going to meet Putin for the first time. They're going to speak with each other. The deep state does not want this to happen. They will stop this any way they possibly can. And this is why I'm saying we might see some type of an event occur maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow, maybe next week to stop this meeting. Because once they meet and they start talking to each other, which I think they've been doing, but out in public, and Trump makes an announcement that we're repairing the relations with Russia, well, the deep state is in big, big trouble right now. So to stop this meeting, they might try to push some type of an event. And we can see right now, Trump has already called them out on this false flag event. Because again, people are out there saying that, oh, they're announcing this false flag and they were planning it. Why would you announce a false flag event? Why would you even put that out there? If Trump was going to do something and the White House was planning this chemical attack, why would you announce it where Russia heard it, Iran heard it, Syria heard it? I mean, think about this for a second. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's like using the chemical weapons on your own people. Again, it makes no sense. Now, we know that Russia has satellites above. They understand they're looking at the whole entire situation. The U.S. has satellites above. They're looking at the whole entire situation. The one thing they really can't see is a fake chemical attack, because it's really not happening. They're making it up. And the only way to get that message out there, because there were a lot of spies, there's a lot of leaks within the White House, was to make this announcement. Because in every other false flag, they never came out and said this. They never said this is what we're about to do. And if the Islamic State and the deep state was going to do something, they would just do it. And then everyone would point to it. Look, oh my God, look what Assad did. This is what they've done in the past. You don't announce something ahead of time and say, oh, this is a false flag. It doesn't make any sense. So what we're seeing right now is that was a warning to Russia, Iran, and Syria that the deep state, they were planning on using this to most likely bring more paid mercenaries into this area, trying to get the public all riled up, and it was stopped. Now, was it stopped in its tracks? Most likely not. I think they might still try this. But we can see with this meeting coming up, there's a very good chance right now. Indicators are pointing to some type of an event that might occur during this next couple of weeks here. And this is what we are looking at. Now, hopefully nothing happens and they are able to meet and we don't have to worry about it. But I don't think the deep state's just going to sit back and let this all happen, because they've been pushing this Russian propaganda for so long, and for them to meet and to be publicized, and for the White House to come out saying that we're repairing relations with Russia, this is not going to work out well for the deep state. So this is what we're watching here. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.